Hey everybody, welcome to PracticePanther.com. This is David. I'll be your trainer and guide for today. Thank you all for taking the first big step in improving your practice. We're going to start off here. This is the dashboard where you'll first see every time you log in here today. I'm going to take you step by step and show you the best ways to take the most out of PracticePanther. First thing we're going to do is go over to our settings page. Just want to show you what you have to offer here. PracticePanther is very, very easy to use, but you can always control a lot more of the power behind it by going through these settings. Here's your personal settings. You'll be able to upload your profile picture, which you'll see up here on the top right and next to most of your posts. You'll be able to include all your personal information right down here as we go down. Your job title. We have a large list of options here for you. You can also go down, put your phone number, your email. You can go ahead and always make sure that all this information is absolutely correct for your clients. All right, here you'll also see that you can go ahead and give yourself an hourly rate. Let's go ahead and give myself a hefty $2.50. And you can also go ahead and turn on rounding time entries, which will allow you to have your time entries, when you save them, automatically round up or down to the nearest, let's say, 0.1 of the hour. We also send out a notification email every morning at 6 a.m. and you can turn that on or off right here. This notification email will include your daily agenda for the day, showing you all the tasks and events you have to be concerned with for today. Really quickly, I'll go ahead and show you here. You can go here anytime you need to change your password or grant our support team technician access. We're always here for you 24/7. Now let's go back and check out what we have going on our dashboard. Your dashboard is going to act as a quick stat screen for your firm's accounting and for your hours. You can see our date range right here, which is going to control the amount that you see in these colorful bubbles right here. In blue, we see how much we have in trust during this range. In green, we see how much we have been paid so far in operating. In red, we see how much we have on our invoices that are waiting to be paid off. And in orange, we see how much we have on our matters that is waiting to be put onto your invoices. So all of your time entries, expenses, and flat fees that have not been billed so far. We also offer a quick create bar right down here for new users learning how to use the software. You can create new contacts, matters, new events, new tasks, pretty much everything right here. But moving forward, I'm going to want you to get used to this new button right up here, as you can do the same things right from this new button. And this new button is really great because this is here no matter what page of the software that you're on. So it's good to get used to. You also have quick timers available to you, both on the top right here next to the new button, as well as on the right side here in your right sidebar. Turning on one will turn on the other, and these timers will go until you stop them. No matter what page you're on, again, these timers will never stop. You could even turn off PracticePanther, log off, turn off your computer, walk away, turn on your phone, and access your PracticePanther app on your iPhone or Android, and you'll be able to see the timer continue to run in real time as if it was never stopped. So it's really great for being able to track your trips to the courthouse, and you can also pause it right up here if you want to take a lunch break, and press play when you're ready to come back. And then anytime you're ready to stop the time entry, just hit the big square right in the middle, and that will actually stop it and convert it into an actual time entry that you can go ahead and fill out. But we'll come back to time entries later. Down here we see our recent activity, which is going to show us any activity that we missed since the last time we logged in. So if we're a firm that has a couple of other users and we want to see exactly what we missed since the last time we logged in, this is where you'll find it all. And on the right side, we have this sidebar that you can shrink and show. You'll see your timer here. You'll see a quick calendar you can use to jump to any given calendar day to see what you might have going on that day. And you have your agenda. Your agenda is going to be extremely useful because this will show you a complete list of every task and every event that you have going on for this week across all of your cases in the order they need to be done. So if you're very diligent about your tasks and events, you'll be able to come into the office, log on to PracticePanther, check out your agenda right here, and just work down this list without having to think. And lastly, we have on the top here our navigation bar. You're going to use this bar to navigate around the software, whether it's to your contacts list, your matters list, your calendar, etc. You can also use the navigation bar to search and run conflict checks. So right here, you can go ahead and type in whatever you're looking for to see if you have any existing clients with that name. You can also use this to jump to that client very easily if you ever need to. Now that we're comfortable with the dashboard and the settings, let's go ahead and get started with the actual work. We're going to go right up here to the new button and create our first new contact. This is the new contact page, and you'll see this green button here on the top. You can use this anytime you want to add a company. So in case you're representing not just one person, but maybe a group of people, a business, or family, you can go ahead and put the name of that company or family right up here. This name will also appear on your invoices. The primary contact is the first contact within this company and will act as the main point of contact for you and your firm. When you send your invoices, the invoice will be sent to this primary contact. So, we also offer a client portal. In order to turn the client portal on and invite your client, all you need to do is turn this little button on and have an email address here in the email field. When those two criteria get met, when you save this contact, an email will automatically be sent to David Silverberg at that address, inviting them to create their login for the client portal. On the client portal, your clients will be able to review any tasks or events that you assign to them, so you'll actually be able to invite them to hearings or meetings, or send them tasks to complete, like getting something signed and sent back to you. They'll also be able to review any invoices you've sent them and make payments if you've enabled LawPay as your credit card processor. Your clients will be able to review their payments as well and be able to share documents with you and send secure messages directly to you over the portal instead of risking anything over an email. We also offer custom fields that you can add, like I mentioned before, to any contact and matter. You can add it right here as well just by hitting the drop down and hitting the new custom field button right there. So we can keep track of, let's say, the client's birthday if we want to send them a cool gift. Go ahead and make this. We have a lot of different options here for our custom fields. Let's go ahead and do a date field for this one and hit save. This green button will also allow you to add an additional contact to this company. This is only possible if you add a company at the top, and you'll be able to add multiple contacts to here in case you ever need to. Here's where you put the main address of the company right here. And you can also assign this company to any user on PracticePanther. Assigning a user will basically make that person responsible for this contact, and it'll also provide them with notifications, much like Facebook up here. Anytime anything happens involving this contact, these assigned users will get notifications to let them know. And lastly, you can also create tags here for these contacts. So these tags are really helpful for being able to create your own custom filters based on any keywords that you're interested in, and then be able to filter your contacts list based on those words. So really useful tips for this is to use it to track what type of contact this is, whether it's a client, a colleague, a friend, whatever. We're going to go ahead and say it's a new client. You can also use this really effectively to track how effective your referral sources may have been. So let's say you have a website and your client says, I found you through the website. And you hit save. Now back on your contacts list, you'll be able to see these tags right up here on the top that you can click on and filter your entire list to only show you the contact with these tags. So if I was interested in learning how effective my website has been, I can turn on the tag website and see how many contacts I have. All right, so we just saved our first contact, the Silverberg family, and we're going to see here, this is the contact page. This is going to act as a summary of everything going on for all your cases. So all your cases information will be summarized right here under matters in these different tabs, activities, notes. So all your cases, messages, invoices, payments, time, everything will be right here in the contact page. All the contacts accounting here, you can see their trust in total, their operating in total, basically all the money that you've taken from them, and Right up here, we see the bubbles that are available to show the accounting for just this contact right here, their trust, the amount that they've paid you so far, any amount that they owe you right now, and any invoices, and the amount that's waiting to be billed out of the time entries and expenses right here. Next to every item in PracticePanther, including contacts and matters, next to the name, you'll see this blue bubble for editing. You'll see the blue trash can to delete the contact. On all the way to the right here, we're going to see the new matter button for easy access, a star to follow or stop following a certain contact, which will control whether or not you can receive notifications about them, and also this green new button where you can use this to create anything you want for this contact. So let's go ahead and get started with our new matter. Let's go ahead and give this matter a name. We're going to say this is a divorce, so we're going to say it's going to be Silberberg versus Doe. We're going to move on down here. We can also add custom fields for our matters here. We'll say spouse's name in this case, since this is a divorce case. Leave it as a text box for this one. And hit save. And here we're going to put Jane Doe. Moving on down here, we can select our matter rate for this matter. Every single matter on PracticePanther, you can control exactly what kind of rate it's going to be. Whether it's a user default rate, which is going to use the hourly rate you have set in your settings so far for each user. You can have each case have a matter custom rate as well, where this specific case will have a special rate for everyone based on the user or based on the role of the user. What their rate will be for this case. We're going to do everyone, and we'll say everyone for this case, we're going to give them a discount. It's only $150 an hour. We also offer flat rate cases, item price, which allows you to bill based on the exact work that you're doing, and contingency. Evergreen retainer is not the retainer amount itself, but simply an amount that you would like to receive a warning by when your trust amount reaches below this, whatever amount you put right here. So say I have a $2,000 trust account amount balance, and I do a lot of billable work, and that balance would drop below 500. I'll get a warning letting me know I should probably refill on my trust before I do any more work. Your statute of limitations dates can go right here. This will appear on your calendar. And you can assign this matter as well to anyone that you want responsible for it. You can select an originating attorney for our reporting purposes later on. And you can also tag your matters as well. So this is really useful for being able to track what type of cases you have and how many of them. So we'll say divorce and save. You'll probably notice that our matter page looks very similar to our contact. Some differences being we have a matter name right up here next to the clickable contact name and a little briefcase to signify we are in fact in the case. And then we have all of the same tabs that our contacts have right down here. This is going to show us only the information relevant to this specific matter. There's a lot you can do within the matter, so let's go ahead and get started with the new button right up here on the top right. We're going to want to use this button primarily once we're in the matter because, once again, anything you make using this button will be automatically associated to this contact and matter. For example, if we go ahead and make a new task, which will be on our calendar, we can see here that this is for the Silberberg family. For the matter, Silberberg versus Doe. And for one of our first tasks, we're going to want to get our retainer signed, or a retainer agreement. So get the retainer agreement signed. Put an exclamation point for some urgency. We're going to make sure we get this done by tomorrow. It's very important. We can give any additional details we want, any additional steps in the description. We can even add reminders right here. You can have up to 5 reminders per task and event, and they can be email, pop-up, or text message reminders directly to your phone. These can come in minutes, hours, or days ahead of time. It's completely up to you. The power's in your hands. You can set priorities to let everyone know what's more important than everything else. You can have them set to repeat if you like for anything that is reoccurring. And you can delegate this work out to other users in your firm as well as your contacts themselves, if you enable the client portal for them. You can also tag your tasks and events with a specific keyword that you want to be able to sort through all your tasks in later. So let's say we want to make sure this is a task involving a signature. And save. This task is now on our calendar and will not go away until someone comes by and completes it. Now let's go ahead and create a new event for the Silverberg family. Now you might be asking, what's the big difference between a task and an event exactly? So I mentioned how tasks have a specific due date and you can complete them, where events have specific due dates and times, as we see here. So for anything that's time sensitive, like hearings or meetings, or if there is something you need to get turned in by a certain time, you'll want to make an actual event for that specific situation. So we'll go ahead and say it's hearing for tomorrow. It's not an all-day event. A description for any additional information you might need about the event. You can also go ahead and add reminders here as well, and a location of the event as well. So if it's a hearing or a meeting at a courthouse, you can go ahead and put the address of that courthouse right there. You can also color code your events as well, any color you like for your calendar. Again, give it a priority. You can go ahead and make it repeat if you like. Assign this to whatever users you like to be in attendance for that event, as well as your contact, and tag the event as well. We'll say it's a hearing. And save. Next up, I know a lot of you probably take retainer payments for your clients. So before we actually start doing any work, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. You're going to go right up here to the new button. As you're going to see, this new button is going to be really your best friend. Keep going back here every time. Going to go hit payment, add a retainer, and then add a payment. This is to record a retainer payment you've already collected and you just want to show it on PracticePanther's system. So we'll say the amount was for $2,000. You're going to change operating to trust, when you got the payment, how you got the payment, and any notes you want to take on this. So we can put our check number, for example, and make the deposit. Once again, this isn't making any physical deposit into your bank. It's just recording it here on PracticePanther. As you can see, we have a new trust amount right here to use for this matter. Now that we have some money in the trust, let's go ahead and begin working. We're going to go ahead and hit this new button once again and create a time entry. You can go ahead and name your time entry whatever you like using any of the item names that we provide you, or you can create your own item names as well. We're going to go ahead and say we communicated with the client. You can use this timer to record anything live in real time. Or if you already know how long something took, go ahead and type it in right here. Going on down, the date that you did this work and exactly what you did with this client. Now you won't want to be mean in this text box right here or say anything nasty. Now you won't want to be mean or say anything funny in this box because this is the box that will appear on the invoices, so your clients will see this. You can go down here if you want this to be a billable item or not, yes or no. Who did this actual work for the client to see? The rate, the total, and any private notes can go down here. So anything you want to say that you don't want your client to see, you can put in this box instead. And save. Now, in case you ever fall behind, we do also offer multiple time entries. Multiple time entries will allow you to go to another page where you can actually record up to 10 entries at the same time. Now, this is for any time you've fallen behind on some work and you just want to get them all uploaded in an instant. So you just go ahead and pick the contact, the matter, the date you did the work, much like a time entry, the billed by, the hours, rate, item name goes right here, and the description of what you did under that. And then when you have everything done and filled out, just hit save. We can also record expenses with PracticePanther by going to New and Expense right here. We can say it's for $20, and we're going to say this is for court parking because we shouldn't have to pay that. You can select categories for your expenses as well, much like your items, and you can run reports on the different kinds of expenses you've had over the years. You can go ahead and upload a receipt here as well, mark if this is billable or not, who billed for this expense, and any private notes once again. and save. Much like the time entries, you can also do multiple expenses in one shot as well, up to 10 at a time. You can record notes about your case by hitting New, and as you guessed it, Note right here. You can go ahead and give this note a name saying, I called with the client, and these can be all your notes about that call. And this is just for you to see for any purpose whatsoever. Here in the Relationships tab, you can actually build relationships between this matter and other contacts that weren't otherwise related. So here I'm going to select another contact that I have. I only have Test here as another contact, but you can go ahead and relate them here and say what is their relationship name. So you can say spouse, you can say this the opposing counsel, the judge assigned to the case, whatever you want. So that way you have a very easy location to see everyone related to this matter. Now that this case has incurred some billable amount, let's go ahead and actually get the invoicing done. We're going to hit New and Invoice. Next, you're going to pick the date range that you want the invoice to pull from for the time entries and expenses, and hit Generate Invoice. This is going to take us to our Invoice Construction page where you can make any last-minute adjustments you may need to. You can click on any field you want here and make any changes you need at any point in time. Keep in mind that changes made to items on this stage will not reflect back on the time entries on the matter. If you ever need to give a write-off or a discount, you can just go into the quantity of any line item and make it negative, and then it'll take that amount off the invoice. After you finish reviewing your invoice, you can go down here to include any information you want in the terms and conditions, which can apply to any invoice you like, and the notes, which will only apply to this invoice. You can set up your payment processor with LawPay right down here on the right, and you can also have this automatically pull from the trust account by turning this option on here. Have it pull from the operating account as well if you need to. You can have this invoice set to send payment reminders like I showed you guys before. And with this option down here, you can also have all this client's unpaid invoices, all those balances, get added to this invoice as well. And then hit Save. This is what your invoices will generally look like. Keep in mind you can also change the theme back on your settings page. But this is the final product for this client. You can see the totals for each of your time entries, for your expenses, and the grand totals will be down here on the bottom right. And as we can see here, the trust payment that was on the matter got automatically applied to this invoice, making our jobs very easy. Once you've saved the invoice, you can hit this Actions button to send it to your client via email. And once they view it, you'll get a notification in real time up here letting you know it's been viewed. And underneath the invoice, you'll have these notes right down here where you'll see the exact day and time it was viewed and how many times it was viewed as well. I want to show you guys how to make an actual payment on the invoice, so I'm going to go ahead and unapply this payment here so we still have an outstanding amount on this invoice after we refresh the page. So now we have a total outstanding of $205 on this invoice. So to pay it off, we're just going to go up here and hit the Enter Payment button that just appeared here. Gives us a couple options here. We can charge a card directly if we're synced up with LawPay. We can use any retainer we have available right here. Or let's say we don't have a retainer or we just don't want to apply it. You can hit Add a Payment to show any amount that you've already received yourself. Again, put the date you got the payment, how you got it, any notes, and down here is where you're going to put exactly how much you received. You can type it in, or if you have the full amount paid off, just hit the Pay All button here to update it. Then Pay Invoices. And just like that, the invoice has been paid off once again. Let's say you have a lot of matters and you don't want to go to each one and invoice them one at a time. We actually have a way to batch invoice all of your matters at one shot. To do this, just hit the New button right up here. New and Invoice. And then instead of hitting one invoice, you're going to hit multiple invoices here on the right. And this is going to show you a complete list of every matter you have on PracticePanther that has a billable amount outstanding. So any matter that's waiting to be invoiced will appear on this list. And all you need to do is click this checkbox to mark them all off. Then go down to the bottom right and invoice 3 matters. This next page will be where you can apply bulk settings to all your invoices. You can select your date range for all of them right here, when you want the date for these invoices to be, and the due date for all your invoices as well. You can have it set to email your clients automatically, which will save you a bunch of time, but I don't recommend doing this until you're comfortable with how the invoices are turning out. You can also have it set to email a PDF file for each invoice directly to you. The terms and conditions right here on the right will appear on all your invoices in this case, and customer notes as well. And down here you can adjust your payment options for all your invoices in one shot. And then create 3 invoices. And just like that, we have all of our invoices made in one shot. On our invoices page, we can filter through them using all of these filter bubbles right up here. So if you want to see all invoices, your sales, credits, or refunds, you can see them right here. If you wanted to see invoices designed from a specific user, you can use this. You can use this bubble to sort your list by bill date, due date, or created date. And you can use this to show only the invoices for a certain period of time with a certain status. On the top right of every list in PracticePanther, we have a Choose Columns button to allow you to choose exactly what information is important to you to see on this list. And we have the ability to export to Excel and export to PDF. And this will export the exact list that you're interested in seeing right here. Let's take a look at our calendar. We can see a day view, a week view, and a month view right here. So you can see all the events that are assigned to you in one convenient location. On the left here, we have a list of calendars, and this is going to show us a calendar for every user that we have on PracticePanther. You can check them on and off and see multiple users' calendars overlapping at the same time. When you have multiple users' calendars turned on, each user will have their own specific color to designate which events are theirs. I also recommend checking out the agenda option. This will show you a list of things that you need to be worried about upcoming in a list. You can also easily create a new task or a new event from right here. Next, let's check out our activities page. Our activities page is consisting of all tasks, events, calls, emails, and notes that are in PracticePanther right now. You can use this bubble right here to sort through each one to see what you're interested in. You can see all activities with a certain status, assigned to a certain user, created by a certain user, and during a certain date range. So you can create whatever kind of list you want and export it to Excel or PDF anytime you need. You can also use these tags that we created earlier to show only the types of tasks or events you're interested in seeing. On the time entries page, you can see a list of all the time entries your firm has collected. You can sort it by user, by status, and by date range. And you can see your hours today, this week, this month, or even this year. And last but not least, let's talk about our support. Anytime you have any questions or want to learn more about the software, just hit this question mark right up here and go to Visit Our Help Center. This is going to take you to another page where you can search through all of our FAQs where 99% of your questions have already been answered. If, for whatever reason, you can't find the answer to something you're looking for or the information provided wasn't enough, you can always hit this circle right down here on the bottom right to send us a message directly to our support staff. And we will always respond within 24 hours, guaranteed. If you guys ever have additional questions past this or need additional training or want to see more videos, just make a message right here to our support team and we'll be happy to help. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, my name is David and I'm with PracticePanther and I want you guys to get to work.